It was 02:15 in the morning on the My Tho River branch, deep in the Mekong Delta, October 1968. Two patrol boat, river PBRs, were running dark, engines throttled back, cutting through water the color of black glass. Each boat carried 4 men and enough firepower to level a tree line. The Viet Cong ambush waiting on the bank had 37 fighters, recoilless rifles, and the advantage of surprise. They opened fire at 40 meters. They chose the wrong night. By the time the contact was over, less than 90 seconds later, the Viet Cong position had been dismantled by twin .50 caliber machine guns, 2 M60s, a grenade launcher, and the kind of concentrated return fire that PBR crews had been trained to deliver the instant the first shot came in. 14 Viet Cong fighters were killed at the riverbank. The rest disappeared into the dark. Both PBRs took hits. Both boats kept moving. Neither crew lost a man. What the Navy's after-action report recorded in 3 paragraphs, the newspapers never covered at all. The Brown Water Navy fought more than 150 of those engagements in 1968 alone. Almost none of them made the news. The Mekong Delta in 1968 was a different war from the one Americans saw on television. There were no hills to take and hold, no fire bases with perimeters, no tree lines you could call artillery onto without hitting a village. There were rivers, thousands of kilometers of them, brown, narrow, overhung with vegetation, running through terrain that flooded half the year and turned roads into mud the consistency of wet cement. The Viet Cong understood that river system the way a farmer understands his own land. They moved supplies, weapons, and fighters through it constantly, using sampans, underwater caches, and a network of contacts in the riverside villages that made conventional interdiction nearly impossible. By 1966, MACV had concluded that the only way to contest the Delta was to put American firepower on the water itself. The result was Task Force 116, Operation Game Warden, and the craft that would define it was the PBR, the patrol boat River, 31 feet long, fiberglass hull, twin waterjet drives that could push it to 29 knots even in shallow water, and an armament load that, for its size, had no equivalent anywhere in the U.S. military. Bosun's Mate First Class Donald "Doc" Greer had been running the Delta for 7 months by the time the October ambush found him. He was 26 years old, from Pensacola, Florida, and he had developed the kind of situational awareness that experienced PBR crews built through repetition and near misses, a feel for the river that was part tactical and part intuition. Greer's boat was Patrol Boat 712. His crew was 4 men, a gunner's mate on the twin 50s forward, an engineman, a seaman on the aft M60, and Greer himself on the helm. They had been on patrol for 3 hours before the contact. The night was overcast, no moon. The key to what happened next was something that PBR crews had drilled until it was reflexive: the immediate action response to ambush. The doctrine was simple and brutal. When you take fire from the bank, you do not attempt to break contact by accelerating away. You turn toward the fire, close the distance, and put everything you have into the ambush position simultaneously. The logic was counterintuitive but tactically sound. A PBR running away from an ambush presents its stern and loses half its firepower. A PBR turning into the ambush closes the kill zone, overwhelms the ambush position before the attackers can adjust their aim, and uses the boat's own speed and maneuverability as a weapon. Viet Cong ambush doctrine had been developed against slower, larger craft. It assumed the target would try to run. At 02:17, Boat 712 turned hard to port and accelerated toward the muzzle flashes. The forward twin .50s opened up within 2 seconds of first contact. The second PBR in the patrol, Boat 724, commanded by Petty Officer James Holloway, mirrored the maneuver on a parallel axis, creating a cross pattern of fire that caught the Viet Cong position from two angles simultaneously. The Viet Cong fighters on that bank had rehearsed an ambush. They had not rehearsed receiving two boats worth of .50 caliber fire from two different directions, while both boats accelerated toward them at 25 knots. The recoilless rifle team, the most dangerous element of the ambush, got one shot off. It hit the stern of boat 712 and disabled the aft M60 mount. The engineman, Petty Officer 3rd Class Marcus Webb, was wounded in that strike. He did not leave his station. He kept the engines at full throttle and reported the damage over the radio without breaking his rhythm. By 02:18 and 30 seconds, the ambush position was silent. What made the PBR so effective and so feared was not any single system. It was the combination of three things that no Viet Cong planner had fully accounted for when the program began. The first was speed in shallow water. The twin waterjet drives on a PBR had no exposed propeller shafts or rudders, which meant the boat could operate in as little as 2 feet of water without damage. Viet Cong ambush planners positioned themselves on banks where they believed the water depth would prevent pursuit. PBR crews simply ignored those calculations. The second was the rate of fire. A PBR at full action carried enough weapons for its 4-man crew to put more rounds downrange per minute than a standard Army rifle squad twice its size. The twin .50s alone could fire 1,200 rounds per minute combined. In a 90-second engagement, that was 1,800 rounds from one weapon system. The third, and the one that Viet Cong commanders found most difficult to counter, was the trained response. Navy River Division crews drilled the immediate action ambush drill until it was automatic. There was no decision to make in the first 2 seconds. The training made the decision for them. By the time a Viet Cong fighter's brain registered that the target was turning toward him instead of running, it was already over. Viet Cong regional command structures in the Delta began issuing guidance about PBR engagements as early as mid-1967. Captured documents from D/NG Province, translated by Combined Intelligence Center Vietnam analysts, showed that local VC commanders had been explicitly warned against initiating contact with PBR patrols at night unless the patrol was stationary, and the ambush force numbered at least 50 fighters. The language in one directive was direct. A moving PBR patrol at night was to be avoided. The document noted that previous attempts had resulted in unacceptable losses at the point of initiation, and that the patrol boats do not behave as anticipated. That phrase, "do not behave as anticipated," was a tactical admission that the Viet Cong's entire ambush framework had been built on assumptions about how a target vessel would react to fire. The PBR had invalidated those assumptions completely. The effect on Viet Cong logistics was measurable. By late 1968, river supply movement in Task Force 116's patrol zones had declined sharply during hours of darkness. Sampan traffic that had previously moved at night began shifting to early morning when PBR patrols were rotating and the coverage was thinnest. The Brown Water Navy had forced a change in the enemy's operational rhythm without ever being assigned that as a mission objective. Was the decision to turn into the ambush, rather than run, the right call every time? PBR veterans still debate it. Some crews lost men making that turn. Others say it saved their lives on nights when running would have meant a longer exposure to fire from a prepared position. The doctrine was sound, but doctrine never accounts for every river, every bank, every moment when the man on the helm has to decide in half a second. If you served on the rivers, PBR, Swift Boat, Monitor, any river division, drop a comment. This war had 2 fronts, and one of them ran through the Delta. Petty Officer Marcus Webb was evacuated to a field hospital and treated for shrapnel wounds. He returned to River Division 532 11 days later. No ceremony, No press release. He went back to the same river. Donald Greer completed his tour in December 1968. He received the Navy Commendation Medal with Combat V. The citation described the October engagement in 4 sentences. He kept a copy of it in a drawer for decades, rarely showing it to anyone. The Brown Water Navy ran more than 340,000 patrol hours in the Mekong Delta between 1966 and 1971. They intercepted over 5,000 vessels carrying war supplies. They fought hundreds of ambushes on rivers with no names that appeared on no map anyone back home would ever see. The Army had its hills and its fire bases. These men had water, darkness, and 4 seconds of warning. History gave the Brown Water Navy a footnote. The delta they held deserved far more than that.